All right, I am very, very excited about this one. Stanley Clarke, master bass player, and one of my favorite bass players of all time. One of the reason, really, when I was a kid that I got into bass playing at all. I love his stuff. I love how his bass sounded, you know, that alembic sound that he has, and just his technique. Everything about the guy, you know, I'd go to see him live, and he'd stroll out into the crowd, start talking to people, you know, whatever. Just a really, really cool guy and a fantastic bass player. This is going to be a lesson where I'm going to be talking a lot about technique, how he plays, and I'll show you maybe different ways to play this if you want, and you could add your own style to it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, please click on those bass tutorials I have right down there in the YouTube text box. They're free, they're not on YouTube, so you can only get them by clicking on that. And what's cool about them, I think, and the whole idea behind all this is we're practicing the bass, right? We're learning all kinds of techniques. You're learning bass tone, you're learning hammer-ons, pull-offs, you're getting your chops up to speed, right? But we're doing it in such a way that's not just rote repetition, right? You're actually learning it through doing something that you love, through music. And that's fun, you know? You're actually basically having fun, but you're practicing at the same time. And you almost don't even know that you're learning something, but you are. You're getting better on the bass, and you're getting more up to speed. You're getting your chops, and you're learning all kinds of techniques and cool stuff on the bass. So click on those tutorials, and I think they'll really help you out. All right, let's get into some Stanley Clarke. All right, so I'm going to show you what I'm doing with my left hand first, and then I'm going to show you with my right hand, because this lesson, it's not just learning this, you know, signature riff to school days. It's going to kind of be about technique, and maybe I'm going to throw some extra tools in your toolbox you'll be able to bring out when you're playing bass. But first of all, I'm just going to show you what I'm playing here. All right, so that first part that I'm doing there, I'm going to be on the you're hitting chords, right, this whole time. The 7th fret of the D and the 9th fret of the G, right? I'm just going to show you my left hand first. Then you go down to the 4th fret of the D and 6th fret of the G, right? Whoop. Just like that. So that last one was 4th fret and then 6th fret. And then you're going to go to the 2nd fret of the D and 4th fret of the G. So far. Right? Then there's a ghost note in there. And this is one of the most important things about his playing. And a lot of funky or progressive jazz players, it's really important when you're not playing, just as important when you are playing. That's what makes it funky, right? Spaces between the notes and the little ghost notes when you're not playing. So what you're going to be doing there is you're going to be flicking your fingers on the strings, but you're not applying any pressure, right? So you just kind of hold your fingers there and give it a ghost note. And then you're going to be on the open D and the 2nd fret of the G, right? Here's another ghost note. And the way he's ghost noting these is he's pulling up. But I'll show you that when I do my right hand. So another ghost note. And then here's another really interesting thing. You're going to be on the 4th fret of the D and 6th fret of the G. And incidentally, this is from a live performance. So, you know, if you feel like this isn't exactly right or one note is off or the tabs are off or whatever like that, I'm getting this from the live performance that I saw. So this is, you know, what I'm hearing and what I saw, and this is my interpretation of what he's doing. So you're on this 4th and the 6th fret, but just for a second. You just tap it just for a second, and then you're going to go back down into that 2nd fret of the D and 4th fret of the G. See that? You almost don't even tap it at all, but it sounds funky and it's kind of subconscious the way you hear it, right? So far I believe we have right? And then you have another ghost note. And then the open D and the 2nd fret of the G. Another ghost note. 2nd fret of the D, 4th fret of the G. And then you slide that up and then back one whole step. So it's going to look like this. Right? So you got 2nd fret, 4th fret. and you're going to slide it up to, one whole step, so you're actually going to be on the 4th fret and the 6th fret, but you don't really pluck those, right? Just like that, and go back down to the 2nd fret and 4th fret. And then another ghost note. And then, interesting, you're on the 3rd fret and 5th fret of the 3rd fret of the A and 5th fret of the D to end it off, right? And it's open A and 2nd fret of the D. So to end it off, you got 3rd fret of the A, 5th fret of the D, and then open A and 2nd fret of the D. And I think what I do sometimes is I play that last note twice, but he doesn't do that. He just plays it once. So for accuracy, just like that. Okay, so those are the notes that he's playing, right? But that's the easy part, really, figuring out where his hand is. The hard part here is figuring out the technique of how he's playing it. And, much like many other things, like yoga or something like that, you could go through the motions and just do it, but it's not going to be that great unless you're really doing it with the proper technique, right? So, and you could play this any way you want, you could pop those all out and have it however you want, but I'm going to show you his technique, and that way you can, just have it in your toolbox and pop it out if you feel like it. Okay, so what am I doing there? Well, first thing I'm going to tell you is I am muting these top 2 strings, except for the very last 2 notes of the song, or of this riff. I'm muting these 2 out so they don't ring out. Now, when he plays it, I've seen him, he kind of like puts his thumb here, and he's whacking the strings like this. So he has some sort of magical way of keeping these strings from ringing out. I don't know how he does it, but if you just put your thumb here and just start playing, I don't know if you can hear it, but these strings are going to ring out. You probably heard that when I stopped them. It muddies the water, so I don't know exactly how he's figuring out how to mute these when he's playing with his thumb up here. What I do is I'm putting the palm of my hand, right, on those 2 strings to mute those out. So the E and the A string you cannot hear at all when I'm playing those. Those are muted. And that's going to give you a nice way of very easily being able to ring those other notes out without you hearing the muddied E and the A string. So anyway, that's first, right? Secondly, what I'm doing here is, see that I'm whacking it with my fingernails. Now, one interesting thing is I am actually starting off of the strings and flowing through, just like, kind of like as if you were strumming a guitar. Just like that, right? So you're not starting on the string and playing it like this. You're starting from off the strings and flowing through the strings. Just like that. Right? So that's the first part. The other really important part is how you're getting your ghost notes, right? You can do this any way you want, but the way he does it is he gets a ghost note by bringing his fingers up, like that. So if you're going to play, see that? That was a ghost note right there. That's the first ghost note in this progression. Now, of course, you could go and get a ghost note like this, but it sounds great, and it feels very natural too, and I think it sounds better if you're kind of raking the strings up like that, and it makes a really, really prominent ghost note that's really salient, and you can hear it really well. Just like that. Of course, you're going to have to release pressure on your left hand, but just like that. So anyway, in this part of the song, you're going to go down, 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 up with your ghost note, right? So you got, and then down again, ghost note, and then you got, right, that really quick hit on the 4th fret and 6th fret. Those are 2 downward strokes, right? Just like that. Okay, so we're right at that little very, very quick note. It's almost a ghost note, but I can detect it a little bit. You're going to go, and And see, that's 2 downward strokes then. So if I do it slow, see that 2 downward strokes right there. Then another upward ghost note. Right? Then you have the, so what you're doing there is you're going a downstroke, whoop, and then downstroke again. And then for this last part here, you're going to have to sort of bring your heel up a little bit, obviously, so it's not muting that A string because you're going to be playing on it. So bring your heel up a little bit, downstroke on the 3rd fret and 5th fret, and then you got the open A and the 3rd fret is another downstroke, right? That's how he plays it. I think sometimes I play, just to give it a little bit more kick, I almost pop those last strings with an upstroke with my 2 fingers, 1 finger hitting each string. But if you want to play it like he does, he hits, right? Ghost note, just like that. And another rake with the fingers. So when you're playing these notes, these last 2 notes, you're going to want to keep your heel on that E, the heel of your right hand on that E, to keep that from ringing out, to mute that. So just like that. You could also mute it with your thumb if you feel like it. I think I actually mute it with both. Ha! So that E doesn't have a chance of ringing out. All right, so there you have it, the signature riff from School Days from Stanley Clarke. If it seems a little bit odd to you, or if you're just not used to using that technique and the raking with your fingers and muting and stuff like that, believe me, keep trying it. You know, practice it just a little tiny bit each day, and you'll realize you're getting better and better at it. And you know what? Here's a trick maybe no one's ever told you about. If you're really like struggling with this and you've been practicing at it for like 20 minutes and you can't get it and it's really difficult, right? Just stop. Stop, go, you know, have something to eat, go hang out with your friends, go talk on the phone, drive your car, whatever it is. When you come back 2 hours later to that without, you know, practicing it, you will come back and it'll be easier for you. You'll see, somehow subconsciously, you were psyching yourself out, you were getting so pissed and you couldn't do it, right? Leave, start some other activity, you know, watch some TV, whatever, a movie, forget about that, come back to it, and you'll be like a master at it. Or at least it'll be a lot easier for you. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to that one. I was really excited to do a Stanley Clarke piece. I'm Finbar of Finbar Bass. Don't forget, you can always click on my little YouTube text box right down there to get some lessons that aren't on YouTube. And please subscribe to my channel, Finbar Bass, if you want more of these tutorials. Other than that, have fun with that one, yo!